promised I would wait for you, but I'm getting so impatient. Tell me that you're ready now. This room is big enough for two, and I wanna do that something, something that will blow your mind. Do you know the things you do to me? Touch me and I'll make you understand. Yeah. Do you know the things you make me feel? I can show you if you take my hand. I just wanna dance, dance, dance with you. Let me take you under where nobody can see. I just wanna dance, dance, dance with you. Harder than the summer, so put your hands on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me, on me. Before you, I was paralyzed, all broken down from heartbreaks. Then you came and set me free. You've taken me to paradise, where nothing is a mistake, where we move so flawlessly. Do you know the things you do to me? Touch me and I'll make you understand. Yeah. Do you know the things you make me feel? I can show you if you take my hand. I just wanna dance, dance, dance with you. Let me take you under where nobody can see. I just wanna dance, dance, dance with you. Harder than the summer, so put your hands on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me, on me, on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. Put your hands on me, on me, on me. I just wanna dance, dance, dance with you. Let me take you under where nobody can see. I just wanna dance, dance, dance with you. Harder than the summer, so put your hands on me. Put your hands on me. I've been losing sleep, what to do? Could somebody come and take me away? I've been in the deep without you, and I got it in my head night and day. But we are one step closer. We're all in this together. Put your hand in mine. Yeah, we are one step closer. Can you feel it, baby? It's the end of the line. It looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, moving on. Oh, it looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, stay strong. Oh, it looks like we. It looks like we. Yeah, it looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, stay strong. Oh, it looks like we made it. Wake me from this dream I've been in. I need to get in closer to you. I swear you might succeed. Oh baby, I've been waiting for you. Now we are one step closer. We're all in this together. Put your hand in mine. Yeah, we are one step closer. Can you feel it, baby? It's the end of the line. It looks like we made it. Let's get it on. We got it going, moving on. Oh, it looks like we made it.
What is up, people? It has been far, far too long.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a new episode of Generation Orange. I'm your host, Mark Segovia, alongside my co-host, Sean Ringrose. Yeah, it's been way too long. What, it's been like 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like it has been a month because, there's been so many games, so much going on, just craziness.
Yeah, man, it seems like the Dynamo have been playing 2 games every week, man. With league play and obviously the US Open Cup and just everything going on with them, I think it's been a busy time for us and the Forever Orange family. But with that being said, Sean, before we get on with the show, how are you doing, man? How's everything going with you?
I'm doing good. I can't complain. Got a lot of things going on, which keeps me very busy, as everybody I'm sure understands and probably empathizes with. But sometimes busy is good, and right now it's a good thing. It just means I'm going about 1,000,000 miles a second and just trying to keep up and not get overwhelmed. How about you?
Yeah,
How are you doing, Mark?
Man, I'm good. I'm not. I can't lie. I'm good. Shit, I was outside today, man, and it's hot as fuck.
It has been a toasty week, and is going to continue to be a toasty week. For the next like 5 additional days. So hope everybody's ready for that.
Yeah, guys, if you work outside, or if you're outside for whatever reason, I know this weekend is Father's Day and stuff like that. Try to keep hydrated. It's going to be in the triple digits with the humidity taking it over, making it feel over 110 on some days. So that's intense. So make sure you keep hydrated. Make sure you keep Pops hydrated. Make sure you keep everybody hydrated, so that way we don't have to hear about anybody having any kind of heat stroke or anything like that going on. But yeah, man. I guess it's kind of ironic then. Obviously Houston being as hot as it is, and then the Dynamo being as hot as they are.
Can we just face LAFC every week now? Can that just be? Can we just have that match every week? My God.
At this point, right? Yeah, I mean, back-to-back wins against the defending MLS Cup champions and Supporters Shield champions. So it's a great time to be a Dynamo fan at this point, man.
When was the last time you legitimately can remember the following words being said or typed anywhere that you read? The Dynamo have a team in their back pocket right now, and it's one of the best teams in MLS.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Ooh.
And it wasn't just some kind of fluky or flaky kind of win. It was an absolute domination of a win, especially the one here in Houston, right, over the weekend. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But obviously LAFC is coming off of a kind of a bit of a downer, kind of letting all of MLS down and all of the United States down by losing to Lyon in the CONCACAF Champions League.
Not that you're trying to rub it in or anything.
No, I mean, not what I'm saying. It's one of those things where, like, I think I've said it here plenty of times where I think that the model franchise of MLS isn't Galaxy or wasn't in Atlanta United. It isn't LAFC. It's always been Seattle Sounders to me, And, obviously what they were able to do last year by lifting that CONCACAF Champions League, and dominating the way they did during that tournament. Would have it been great to see LAFC to achieve the same thing this year? Yeah, obviously, when it comes to MLS versus Liga MX, I want to see MLS prosper. And unfortunately, it didn't happen, man. And it seemed like they were on the route to, man. I just don't know. Something fell off. Something didn't click at the end, man, because the Lyon team they faced wasn't even a strong Lyon team as they've been in the last couple of years. When they were winning championships in Liga MX, they kind of they're a little older, a little more faultier, but at the end of the day, they accomplished what LAFC didn't, and then they're lifting the championship, and they're going to represent the CONCACAF region in the Club World Cup here coming up pretty soon. But with that being said, at the end of the day, when you want to be labeled or marketed as one of the top teams in this region in CONCACAF, not just in MLS, that you're going to have a shit ton of games and you're going to play in a shit ton of tournaments and have a lot of mileage on those legs, whatever. And with that being said, you come back to your league and you drop a stinker against supposedly Dynamo team that's fighting, that don't have an identity and don't know whether or not we're going to make the playoffs. And obviously the last 5, 6, 7+ years have been downers for the Dynamo, and for them to show up and hell in the shell and put up 4 on you and you not be able to reply. And then yesterday at your house at BMO Stadium, kill you, clean sheet on the road for their first road win of the season in MLS play.
And you didn't even look like you were in it.
No,
you know,
and the funny thing, Sean, before we get
you're good.
Your analysis about it, that game last night, Ali, to me, I thought he was onside. That camera.
I 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you.
That camera angle, I don't know what kind of camera angle they got, whatever, but that was the wrong angle. And
well, you know what else? The defender definitely got all of Quinones's ankle on the breakaway, and that should have absolutely been a PK. And in almost any situation, that would have been a PK. On the replay, you can physically see.
Oh, for sure.
The defender completely misses the ball, and the ball continues on its straight trajectory, and you can see he definitely clips the ankle. That's a PK. Look, refereeing, yes, there are some things that are very difficult. As a VAR official, that was an easy call to make. The offsides and overruling that, in my opinion, was an easy call to make. But here's the thing, and I can understand this. Because the side judge, the line judge, called the offsides as a VAR official for the offsides, called the offsides, that is going to be very difficult to overturn because the angle at BMO is so trash on the replay. And it was frustrating because you could see on the replay, they have the lines on the field for a reason. And even without the special computer-generated, AI-generated lines, it was very clear to see, at the very least, he was level with the defender. Not in front of him, he was only level with him, if not even a little bit behind him. But either way, he was definitely not in front of him.
It wasn't, man. And then, it's an unfortunate thing because, that would have been Aliu's first MLS goal, and it might have alleviated a little bit of pressure that he had on himself as far as scoring. Obviously we know he's already scored for us in the US Open Cup tournament. But yeah, man, I mean, it's an unfortunate thing, but at the end of the day, you get your first road win. It's against the reigning MLS champions. You get a clean sheet at that. And then you embarrass them because in 180 minutes, you've scored 5 goals. It could have very easily been 8. And
easily.
To be honest, they might have had one opportunity. I think there was an opportunity where Carlos Vela kind of let the ball get away from him. But but even if that, I mean, still you dominated the home and away match.
So here's the thing that this team impressed me last night, specifically looking at last night's match. I have said this before. It doesn't matter how bad the officiating is. You can't let that beat you mentally. You have to go out and still play your game and do what you do. You have to win in spite of it sometimes, especially in an LAFC environment in BMO Stadium where the crowd is obviously very, very against you. The referees clearly were not having any of it. Whatever is fine. But the team came out. They didn't let them shake. They didn't let that shake them. Hector Herrera gets a lot of credit here. Him and Shevchenko get a lot of credit for holding the team together, keeping the team focused, not letting players get frustrated and upset about it, not letting them get demonstrable with their reactions to the missed calls. They dealt with it. They went through it and dealt with it. And that is the mark of a team whose mentality has improved, just leaps and bounds over last season and in prior seasons. This is a different Dynamo team. And look, I will be the first to admit it. I am very happy to see what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's the mental toughness in them, because, honestly, I still think that we're kind of below par as far as talent. Obviously we have some above average talented players and now with Hector Herrera and Bassi and stuff like that. But I think the fact that we're so much more mentally tough and much more prepared mentally to deal with the with the missed call by the refs, by a goal that should have been a goal being disallowed. Because in prior years we'd be like, darn man, and they would put their heads down and just be like, oh man, here we go again. And then we would mention it back then. The Dynamo seemed like they would have in every game, it'd be like those 10 to 15 minutes where they just lose their mental fortitude, and then that's when the opponent jumps on them and scores 2 or 3 goals quickly on them, and then obviously the game is gone by then. But obviously this year, with stronger leadership, as far as players on the pitch like Herrera, Shevchenko, like you mentioned earlier, they're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. They're players who've played in Champions League, who've played in Europe, who succeeded in Europe, and who understand what is needed to win on the pitch. And it doesn't just and sometimes, like I said, we've mentioned it prior. Obviously Benny Ball is going to consist of a lot of 1-0 wins, 2-1 wins. Those kind of grindy games where you're kind of holding off for dear life to hold on to that win. Right. This is point proven right here, where because you're so mentally tough and prepared now, and you have those warriors who've been in those battles prior, and that leadership on the pitch to help the younger guys snap out of it and let's keep going, because you are dominating that defensive player. You are doing better. You are dominating the possession of the ball as far as offensively goes. They can control their destiny in that game. They control their own fates now. Not too much. Maybe in the past 6 weeks have I seen any falter and mental weakness, maybe aside from the St. Louis game and from the Vancouver game, but other than those 2 games after that, everything's been a home run. We'll talk about the US Open Cup tournament here in a little bit, but obviously, the run that they're having in that, the 2 wins against against LAFC, we're 6th place. I mean, halfway through the season, and we're in 6th place. I mean, like I said, there's still 17 more games to go, and who knows what's going to happen. But up to this point, they've exceeded my expectations. Obviously the home record, Hell in the Shell, Shell Energy Stadium, it's a huge home field advantage, which it should be. If you are destined to be a playoff team, you have to gather your points, as much points as you can at home, and then try to pick off points on the road. And that's exactly what Ben Olsen and that coaching staff has put in the mindset of this team, and that's what they're trying to achieve in this season, and that's what they're doing, man. Because the home version of this team is amazing.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm about to admit something that I hoped I would have to admit at some point this season, and I'm glad it's right about midway point in the season. Mm-hmm. Maybe I was wrong about Ben Olsen. Maybe I didn't give him enough credit. Maybe I put too much stock in the fact that he had a reasonably decent team in DC, and then the players maybe were part of the issue. But here I am, about halfway through the season, roughly. We still got a little ways to go, but not much further. About halfway through the season at this point. And our boys have never looked this good.
They haven't.
Like, never. And what I've seen, and you know what? If you think about it, this is probably why I should have known better. But I'm gonna eat my crow regardless. I should have known better, because what have I said all along for the last 4 or 5 years? This team's mentality is trash. This team is not able to doesn't have the mental fortitude or the mental strength to make it through an entire match without making mistakes. And you just called it out. And this is important because it feels like, and this is a first. This feels like a Dom type of situation, like a Dominic Kinnear type situation in 2006, 2007. It feels like this team is getting stronger mentally as the season gets into the strongest part, or the hardest part of the season. Like, it feels like this team is banding together more. They're coming together as a team more. They're playing for each other and for the badge more. They're playing for something more than themselves. That it feels like it's finally away from that mentality where it's the summer, we're gonna hit, and I will readily admit I thought we were gonna hit the doldrums real quick and it was gonna be shit. And we had a couple matches where I was like, see, look, here we go. But now to come back with these 2 back-to-back matches and what we're doing in USOC, yeah, I mean, G's got it right. I'm a believer at this point. Look, Ben has won me over. Now, with that said, there's still 17 matches left. Anything could happen. But if this team can continue playing the way that they are, if they can keep their belief and their confidence and their mental fortitude about themselves, and they can go use this summer window to find the guy they need to find, the ceiling is limitless for this team right now because they believe. And it is clear the difference when Hector Herrera is bought in on a coach and when he is not bought in on a coach. The difference in the way that man is playing right now, he deserves an all-star nod for sure. But realistically, he's one of the best players in MLS right now. And look, I'm not saying because of statistics, but the eye test. He is playing better than 90% of this league, if not better.
Oh, for sure. I think, Hector Herrera, I mean, obviously is showing why he gets paid what he's getting paid. He's obviously showing why it was worth every cent that Ted is paying him because, obviously it wasn't a pretty start last season, and I try to warn everybody in the get-go. I mean, to come in halfway through the season and then under a rookie head coach who hasn't proven anything, and it's tough. Regardless if it was Hector in the Dynamo or it could have been, look, it might be tough for Messi in Miami when he comes in, and we'll talk about that as well, because that's big news as well on the league as going on with Messi coming to MLS. But with that being said, I mean, it was a tough transition. A little bit of an adaptation period was needed. And now look at him. I mean, dude, the free kicks are looking amazing. The leadership is obviously there. The way he has the guys, and their spots is there. The passing is awesome. And just the whole grit. I mean, it's one of those things where when you have a captain on there who's willing to go up there and speak out loud for you when the ref isn't calling the calls for his team, he's up there in that ref space asking what the hell's going on. This and that happened. What's going on? But it's great to see, man. Obviously, hopefully with this road win against LAFC, we've kind of come up and jumped that little road rules that we used to have. I'm not gonna say that we're gonna be road warriors and dominate on the road from here on out. But if we're just a little bit better than what we've been, I mean, that in itself, along with the exceptional homework that we're home play that we're doing, that we've been doing this whole season, I mean, I don't see any way we don't make the playoffs. And, and with that being said, I think, Ben Olsen is right up there for Coach of the Year if he's able to make the Dynamo make the playoffs this season, along with, probably St. Louis's coach, because obviously it's an expansion team. But Ben Olsen is top 1, 2, for sure 3 in Coach of the Year runnings for me up to this point because of what he's been able to achieve with the Dynamo. And with that being said, I mean, one DP player on the pitch, and that's just Hector. Obviously Sebas, unfortunately, for as much as I'm a Sebas believer and I feel that he can get something to the squad. I mean, it's an unfortunate thing. Aliou, he's taking a full advantage of his opportunity since he's come here. Nelson Quiones has finally found the reason why Pat brought him in last season from on loan. Corey Bird is showing Corey Bird on as a winger.
Are you a believer?
Whole different
Are you
story.
a believer? Are you a believer now?
No. I would never be a believer of Corey Bird at the 9. Let's make that clear.
No. Hey, I don't think anybody's actually a believer in Corey Bird at the 9.
Corey Bird at the 9, non-believer. Corey Bird on the wing, extreme believer. I'm gonna pass out the collection play here pretty soon. So guys, be prepared to put in a little tip in there for me. But yeah, man. It's an amazing way. It's an amazing thing to see. Obviously since I want to say it was the Chicago Fire game with in the USO and the US Soccer Open tournament or whatever. Where they started the front 3 of Aliou, Quiones, and I think Bassi was out for that game, so it was Baird.
Yeah.
And from that game on, I mean, the Dynamo have been on a roll.
Yep.
They've been scoring goals. They've been highly competitive. The chemistry is there. They know where each guy is at. the passes are there, the assists are there. It's just amazing, man. The flow of the game is just something great to see.
It
And I'm
feels
excited. I'm excited.
it feels like one of the things that Ben stressed this offseason and season to the players, because just watching the game you can see it, is he wants it to be simple. He wants to remove that complex element that other coaches were trying to integrate, where, in this situation, you want to go and do this, and then you want to do this, and, you're always trying to figure things out. It feels like in Ben's system and his approach, especially defensively, but even kind of pivoting into the attack, is simple. You go out there and you make sure that damn ball doesn't get past you. I don't care what you got to do it. You just make sure that ball doesn't get past you. And to Coldy's point, I mean, Artur right now, total different level of defensive midfielder. Like, we went from Vera to we went from
think about it, Sean. We went from Vera and Seren to Artur and Caicedo.
Yeah,
and Caicedo. I mean, I don't know. And they picked up this guy like last minute,
and he wasn't even in MLS. He hadn't played for 6 months.
Yeah, I think he came from the Raptors or something like that, or something. I'm not sure.
No, he wasn't in MLS. He wasn't under contract.
But he had played for another MLS team.
Yeah, he played for New England, I think. New England, and he played with Ben Olsen in DC one season.
Okay, but what a find, man! Because like I said, a couple times there, obviously Herrera hasn't been there because of red cards or whatever, or just rotation with Artur, or Coco being on international duty or whatever. Caicedo has come in and like I said, this is the difference right here. The level of play hasn't faltered.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to the games now, especially with the domination that we're doing right now against LAFC and the other games that we played. Substitutions come in, the level of play hasn't fallen. We see it so many times. And obviously the biggest time that we've seen it was, I guess, under the Wilmer era, where the starting 11 were amazing. At least Manotas, Kyoto, all those guys, right? But as soon as we started subbing those guys out, the depth was such a low level that it would just drop the whole chemistry of the team drastically, and that's where they would lose. And then obviously during Gold Cup and when all those guys were going to national duties, the level of play was disastrous. And the thing now is, like, we're gonna have Coco gone during Gold Cup, right? Herrera might get called up for Mexico during the Gold Cup. Who knows? And other players might be coming in and out. But with that being said, I'm not concerned as much as I used to be, because Caicedo's there, Brooklyn Reigns is there, and he hasn't even played. He hasn't had an opportunity to get into games because of how well those four midfielders have been rotating. Bassi, you can put him in the middle, and if you want to go with Barrett up front with Aliou and Quiones. So you have a rotation in place of players that know what to do and what is expected of them, whether they play 90 minutes, 60 minutes, or 30 minutes. They know what to do. They know what to do, go out there and do. Their roles are defined. Like you said, Sean, it's been simplified. We just need you to do this. And if this happens, then you can go do that.
Mm-hmm.
One, get from point A to point B. And if point C shows itself, go to point C. But if not, you know where to go. It's amazing how simplifying everything can make everything look so amazing. And I'm happy, dude. Like I said, it's amazing to see the stadium rejoice, be able to celebrate goals, be happy. The atmosphere in the stadium, even though we're still not getting to the capacity we need to be getting. And with that being said, guys, come on, we need to start inviting our friends. I know that all the guys in here, JSP, Finn, and Sanford, and all those guys, myself, Sean, and all the other guys, we're gonna be there, but we need to start inviting people over to come watch these games and enjoy the time out there, because it is good times right now. We need to take advantage of the fact that we had good times. We're finally getting out of the little hole and seeing the light, and shit. I've been waiting for this light, so might as well enjoy with a couple people that you're good with.
Hell yeah! Another thing that I think I want to give credit where credit is due. There's players that have been brought in that I don't think I expected to be the caliber of player that they are. And Pat and Asher deserve credit where credit is due. Like guys like Aliyu, sure he came in with some buzz, but for what? Like, he's playing well. Guys like, Shevchenko, we knew that he had the pedigree. Very similar to the Philippe Senderos move way back when. But you look at it and he looks like he absolutely belongs in this club with no doubt. Like he's bought in.
Easy.
Got guys like Amin Bassi. I mean, no doubt, a player who absolutely can become a star in this league. Guys like Nelson Quinones, who, he had his struggles, but now he's finding his rhythm. He's finding his form. He's becoming that guy on the wing. And the list just continues, like you said, Caicedo. The list just continues to go on and on and on. So I only wanted to bring that up because I have harped on Pat. And I've said I'm not bought in, and I thought that he was doing a bad job, and a lot of that had to do with
it's warranted. It's warranted.
Yes. I will say, and I don't know if you feel this, but I will say that a lot of my opinion about Pat's tenure to this point has to do with his decision to hire Ben Olsen. And now that I've turned and I'm believing more in Ben Olsen's approach, even if I still do think it's a little whack overall. I'm willing to give him a little bit more, I'm willing to say, he's not as bad as I thought he was.
Look, at the end of the day, we've lost in this. Look, regardless if it was Ben Olsen, it could have been me, or if it was Tata Martino, who was a candidate that we talked about a lot that when they're looking for a coach, right? At the end of the day, if the Dynamo are winning, that we're good. Doesn't matter who's coaching the Dynamo. As long as there's results being seen, as long as there's improvement, as long as the team is going the right direction, we're gonna support. We're gonna be there. I'm on the same boat as you, Sean. Ben Olsen, what? Like this was supposed to be the offseason that Dynamo's supposed to make big changes. We just got Hector. We got Sebas. We finally got like a legit number 9. This is supposed to be the offseason where we're supposed to like really get going, and then you come with the hiring of Ben Olsen. It was a little bit of a dud. And you're not wrong for feeling the way you felt. I definitely don't feel like I was wrong feeling the way I feel. But like I said, at the end of the day, that's who they pick. And if he's the guy who gets us to the next level, then he's the guy who gets us to the next level. And I will applaud him for getting us to that level, because obviously I'm tired. You're tired. The guys on the chat are tired of being in the cellar, of being down in the shits, And up to this point, we're not. We're good. We're going the right direction. The team is improving. The team has chemistry. The team has direction, and I applaud them. I applaud Ben Olsen. I applaud his coaching staff, and up to this point right now, look, I'm right there eating crow with you. And then just to go back on the Pat thing, look, man, Pat's the criticism of Pat is warranted. I mean, dude, how do you expect us to feel as the supporter, as a fan base, as a casual, for you to come out and say, oh, we signed this kid Thiago from Brazil just because out of a win, because they said he was good, so we just said, okay, cool, we trust you. And you didn't send anybody. You didn't go take a lot. I mean, that right there in itself, it's merited, But I applaud you for the honesty and coming out and letting us know, like, hey, we fumbled it on that one, and this and that. So, that's that. The Keona signing. Obviously he started off slow. I said myself that I saw flashes last year, flashes that really intrigued me. And we'll see what happens, because obviously I didn't know if he was going to be in the plans for Ben Olsen because of the way Ben Olsen plays, his formation goes. I don't know how he's going to integrate Quiones, or if he's even going to care about having Quiones since he's just a player on loan. But obviously, look at Quiones now. Quiones has looked amazing. He's been the best winger that we've had since Elise. And I'm willing to put that up against Lassiter, Hansen,
who?
T-Mac, Bahamich, Thiago, I mean, the list goes on. When you can name every winger after Elise is gone, and Quiones right now, I would put him above them all. So I mean, better late than never. And look, that this is why you take these kids on loan, because you have to give them opportunity to showcase themselves. And yeah, it might take them a little long. We got to remember, we got this kid when he was 19. He's 20 years old now. He's not only adapting to a new league, he's adapting to a new way of life, a new culture, a new language, all that. And now that he's finally got it, some people want to like ship him out because I'm like, yo, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? This is a young and up and coming. Yeah, 1.8 million. That's fine, dude. Pay that shit and you move on and let's go.
Yep. Yep.
But with that being said, I mean, we'll talk about this, because obviously Quiones is one of the big things. I see that people are asking about Raul Jimenez and the transfer rumors and all stuff. We'll get to that in a bit, but let's talk about Quiones. Sean, I mean, are you on the hashtag keep Quiones, or are you on the hashtag, let him go?
I want to see a few more matches. I think I'm not sold yet either way, but I like what I'm seeing so far. So what I would say is he's earned himself until the end of the season now.
Well, or up until the end of the loan deal, which is in June.
We're in June, so there's not going to be a lot more to see.
Yeah, but the good thing about him is that he'll have 2 or 3 more games, I guess, before the loan expires or whatever, or end of July. Thank you, Steve. He's not Sanford.
That's a whole month and a half. See, that's different. That's enough matches to know.
Yeah, so I mean, by then, look, and we'll get to the poll question of the day right now. Since we're on the topic of Quiones, but yeah, man. I mean, look, if he's showing improvement, and it might not even come as far as like scoring goals, but it's causing havoc up front to where it makes it easier for Aliou and Bassi and Bird or whoever else is up there in the box with them to score. Because that's what it is. Sometimes you have to have one of your front three be a decoy. It would be amazing if every one of your front three guys was a double-digit goal scorer and a double-digit assist man and all that stuff, but that's not necessarily the case. And in a team with a big three, but if you have one being a decoy and he's amazing at it and he makes it so much easier for the other two, that's one of those stats that you can't see on a stat sheet. That's one of those things that you can't really measure as far as analytical or as far as tactical or statistic wise, and I see that in Quiones. I see the way his velocity, the way he runs against up against it was against Holland's hurt for LAFC these past 2 games. He burned him, man. He dominated him, man. He made him his bitch, for lack of a better term. And I enjoy seeing that. That stuff reminded me of Albert Elise when everybody that went against the Dynamo, their whole mindset was shut down Elise, we shut down Dynamo. Shut down Elise, shut down Dynamo.
Yep.
And I want to see that. I want to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I want to see a couple more matches. I think with him in that same position. And I think that's probably the Dynamo strategy for the most part, is they want to see him a couple more matches before they make their decision.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that there's still the potential that, 2 matches could be an aberration. I think it's easy to give him a pass when the team around him is also playing very well. But, how does he play when the rest of the team is struggling or other players in that same area are struggling?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. But,
no, I got you.
So with that said, I want 2 to 3 more matches, and then I'll make my decision. But I would say if I had to make a decision right now, I think I would probably go ahead and spend the money, only because I know I could recoup most of that if I had to by, either a transfer within MLS or a transfer out of MLS in a couple of seasons. And frankly, with what he's shown so far, I don't think there's any reason to think that he couldn't be that guy. And sometimes you have to be willing to spend money if you want to go for the potential guy and the guy with the potential.
Yeah, I mean, look, you could always go try to find somebody else of more experience and, pay a little bit more money. But look, you have him finally figuring it out. He's finally comfortable to the league. He's finally confident in his skills. Why are you going to go spend on another player and have him go through an adaptation period, and then possibly not get nothing from that person, But, with that being said, I mean, as Mr. Cody Code on YouTube says, Nelson Quinones is literally Vinny Jr. Man, if he was even had 50% Vinicius Jr., that'd be amazing. But let's go to the poll question of the day, man. Sean, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, when the front three of Quinones and Aliou and Baird started, that's kind of where the offensive side of the ball started to really get on a roll, and they started to score a lot of more goals. So my question to you guys and to you, Sean, of our front three of Quinones, Aliou, and Baird, and I just picked those three players because those are the three that started that match. Which of the three will be our season's high goal scorer in MLS play? Not overall. I mean, we can go overall as well, but specifically in MLS.
Aliou. Yeah.
Well, with 59% of the total votes, Aliou is the one who people believe will be, and I hope so, man. I mean, he's doing a great job. He's had a ton of opportunities. He just hasn't capitalized on them in MLS play. Obviously, I think he has 2 goals in U.S. Open Cup play, but as far as MLS play, he's still on a fat 0. But I for sure see a goal here in maybe against San Jose next Wednesday. But
here's the thing with Aliou, right? There is every possibility that same thing we said with Bird, and it's the same thing we've said with other strikers. But once he finds that goal in MLS play, look out. I mean, the floodgates might open. You might see a flood. You might see a flood of goals out of nowhere. But he definitely looks the part of a true holding striker that can play in this system in a style and the approach that Ben Olsen wants. And Aliou's not afraid to come back and track back if he has to defensively to cover for a guy who's hurt or a guy that's dealing with something, whatever. And we saw that last night when Quinones went down. Ben was yelling at Aliou to come, to track back and get deeper back so that we could defend with our full 10 guys.
For sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, I mean, obviously, I think that Vancouver game was just a game where he really showed what he can really do, man. And if he was just able to finish, obviously, I think that result on that for that game would have been a whole lot different than what it honestly ended up being. But I mean, he has the skill set, he has the mindset to go out there and do what he needs to do to score. All we need him to do is just to actually put the ball in the back of the net. And I think, and like I said, once he gets that going, and look, this is like his 4th MLS game, and he's already coming along a lot quicker than what we expected. And I'm glad, I'm happy for that, and hopefully with that being said, that, once he gets that first goal off of his back, that, like you said, those goals are going to start coming in bunches, and he might be that number 9 that we've all wanted. He might be the unfortunate replacement for Sebas, and it might be a lot easier to say bye to Sebas now, and open up that DP spot, because now you have somebody as a U22 initiative player doing what a DP player should be doing. But yeah, man, it's
speaking of a DP player, the rumors are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Raul Jimenez.
I mean, it's the summer window's opening.
And if you free up that DP slot by selling Sebas elsewhere, seems like the prime position to bring somebody in.
Or buy down. You can open up 2 spots: sell Sebas and buy down Teenage.
Yeah.
Right now MLS is altering the rules because obviously, if you haven't heard, I don't know if you heard, Sean, but
heard what? Nah, man, I've been living under a rock.
World Cup winner, Copa America winner, 7-time Ballon d'Or player.
Oh, Cristiano Ronaldo's coming to MLS, right?
No.
Yeah.
He's a 5-time winner. He's a 5-time winner.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
He doesn't have a World Cup either.
Oh, okay.
Lionel Messi is coming to MLS. I don't know if you've heard.
No, man, I haven't heard nothing. Hadn't heard that at all.
You've been living
It's
under a rock.
literally
No,
it is
you've been living
literally
under a boulder if that's the case.
everywhere. Literally everywhere.
Man, I'm happy for it, man. Not because I'm a Messi fan. Obviously, I'm a huge Messi fan. I'm excited for him to just be in the league, and all that stuff. But just what he brings, man, what he brings to the table. I mean, look, in 48 hours, all the Inter Miami matches, home and away, sold out. A lot of those away matches now are trying to get into their football adjacent buildings, their NFL adjacent stadiums to fill the demand for the tickets that they want. Miami's trying to get something done with the Miami Dolphins so they can play some home games at Hard Rock instead of that little piece of shit stadium they have in Fort Lauderdale, whatever the hell that thing is called. So it's the Beckham saga times 200, man, honestly, because this is going to be amazing for the league, honestly, real talk. And I know everybody's pouty about like, yo, how's Miami able to do this? 2 years ago, they were getting sanctioned because they had 4 DPs and all, blah, blah, blah. Man, who cares? Did they do anything with that? No, they sucked. Whatever. Who cares? But this when this kind of third comes in, rules need to be changed, and it's great for the league. Obviously the league has been progressing steadily, and we've been on an uphill climb. Now, if this signing finally for once and all for all eliminates the DP and TAM GAM functions that they have out there, cool. And they just make it a full, hey, look, this is your salary cap. You can go do this, whatever. You can go sign whoever you want. We won't count the transfer fee against you as long as you pay it out of your pocket, whatever, or however they want to deal with that, depending on what kind of player they bring in. It won't count towards your salary cap, whatever. This kind of player brings huge changes to the league, and I'm looking forward to it. This is where you take advantage of the league being like, yo, I'm thinking about bringing some player here to play here because they're interested in playing in my city and for my team. What do you think, Don Garber? I made we were talking about I think somebody on Twitter was talking to me about whether or not they would bring Vela into the Dynamo. And I was like, man, why would you want look, props to Vela, what he's done, been amazing, MLS MVP, champion, all that stuff, the fan base that he brought in. He's done a lot of great things, right? But Vela has lost a step or two already, He's already on the other side of his career, man. He's getting a little chubby too. I seen, I don't know. Last time I saw him out there, he looked a little heavy. But but with that being said, I mean, you have a lot of international players who said, yo, I want to go play MLS. I want to go play in the United States. Why? Because the United States, they're going to pay you. All the cities you go to are amazing. The lifestyle is amazing. And secondly, you're not going to be harassed unless you're Messi, but you're not going to be harassed as much as you would as if you were in a Milan or a Barcelona or Madrid or, one of the, or London, you can have a nice living style, making really good money, being an MLS player, a high-end MLS player, obviously, right? So I threw it out there like, yo, we know somebody who wants to be out coming to MLS. What about Griezmann? If somehow they were able to like, hey, Griezmann, hey man, we've heard you want to come to MLS. We know how much you love basketball. This and that. Blah blah blah. Let's make it happen. Hector's here. And we know you love Hector, let's make it happen. Obviously, I'm speaking, hypothetically, but with that being said, somebody threw out Lukaku. Man, Megan Thee Stallion out there lives in Houston. He look good with Megan. If Megan can bring him over across the pond to Houston to chill in H-Town, let's do it, Let's do it. Shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, man. She's beautiful, but and if she's able to bring Lukaku, man, I love you, Megan. If you're able to do that, be amazing.
Look, if you could make that happen, I'm sure that Harden would be willing to give up 1%. I'm just saying.
Shit. Harden might invest another 5% just to get up there.
You're not wrong.
But yeah, man. I mean, look, this signing of Messi to the league, it's gonna open up a whole can of beans, just for everybody in the league. I know people are like, man, but everybody from every team in the MLS is contributing to Messi's salary. He's getting a piece of the Apple revenue. He's getting, who cares? Who cares?
The man,
are we not here to grow this league or not?
I mean, the man is. That's the thing, though. He commands that because he's worth that. Because you are absolutely going to get a full return on whatever investment you make in him. So, I mean, yeah, there's no doubt. And it's not just because of his play on the pitch, which I'm sure will be, it's going to look, we're going to forget about Zlatan soon enough when Messi's on the pitch in MLS. I mean, give him a season and a half with Miami, and Miami's going to, I don't know how good they're going to be, but I can tell you that it doesn't matter because Messi's still going to be Messi,
for sure.
And look, there's a reason that immediately after it was, even as it was being like, confirmed before he even fully announced it, before it was fully, officially announced. Look at the ticket prices for matches where Miami was traveling to another locale, to another MLS club.
$15 tickets went to $500 tickets
overnight. Like it was instant, and so, you cannot tell me that the impact that he can have, or is going to have, is going to be monumental. Look, and this is heading into 2026 World Cup, right before 2026 World Cup. This is going to be it. Oh, go ahead.
And the 2024 Copa America is going to be here in the United States.
Absolutely. And, and trust me when I say this, it's already been mentioned to other players that have been rumored to, to be potentially coming to MLS. I guarantee you there are going to be other players that are going to reconsider their stance on coming to MLS. And and it's not just Messi, but it is the impact and effect that Messi has.
For sure, man. I mean, look, man. Look, I'm a huge basketball fan, right? So I was watching the NBA. Who do you see in the stands? You see Neymar, you see Vinicius Jr., you see Paul Pogba. You see all these players, man. The U.S. Open over here in the tennis that's about to open up, dude. I'm expecting to see a bunch of soccer stars here as well. Like they love what America has to offer as far as lifestyle. Because they know that they can live their life like ballers and not be bugged. Look, Messi is his own thing. Messi's gonna be bugged wherever part of the world he lands in. He's just that guy because he's that guy. But but you know what? An Antoine Griezmann.
Yeah.
I know who he is. You know who he is. We know he's a fabulous football player, World Cup champion, all that, whatever, blah blah blah. But he's walking down the street he's walking down Fan and Travis right here in downtown. Shit. Nobody's gonna look his way unless they're a soccer fan.
Yep.
Honestly.
Yep. It's the only place in the world that they could potentially find any level of anonymity.
For sure, man. But yeah, man, I'm excited.
And why are you talking about him walking down Fannin? That dude ain't gonna be walking down Fannin. He could be walking over there off of Richmond over there in Galleria.
Oh, he's gonna be. No,
you know exactly what I'm talking about. That man ain't gonna be walking down Fannin. Come on now.
And he's gonna ride the Metro Rail down Main Street. I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't know about that, bro. I don't know about that.
Just to get the experience, just to get the the whole whatever. But yeah, man, it's an exciting time for MLS, and I'm excited to see what happens because it's not going to be the only big signing. I believe me, there's going to be another big name. There's going to be other names, maybe not so big, but known football players that bring the quality of the level of the league up. And look, I hope the Dynamo are a part of that this offseason because, obviously we see the great job that they're doing, but we also know that we need to keep up with the rest of the league because we were so far behind. But now that we kind of managed to catch up to the middle of the pack, are we gonna be that Are we going to be ambitious and try to get out of that middle and be in the top half of the middle? And maybe poke out to being actual championship contenders? I don't know. We'll see. But I mean, it's the excitement of the fact that the Dynamo are actually relevant at the moment.
Yeah. Let me ask you a very serious question. So let's say that at the end of 2023, going into the 2024 season, they take the handcuffs off when it comes to DP slots and say, look, we're not going to cap a DP slot anymore. It doesn't hit your cap. There's no adjustments for it. You pay it, like you said, out of pocket, all that. Who's your player? Who is one player? Who is your player anywhere in the world, any caliber of player? Who's your player?
And this summer?
Yeah. No. Winter off season.
After the season ends? Shit, man. I mean, it'll be interesting because look, the thing about it, obviously it's still going to be a thing where I think MLS is still going to target for the most part
younger players. Yeah.
No. They're gonna target the high end players, but the ones that are free transferred because those transfer fees are ridiculous. Like I said, even though I mentioned Griezmann, but he has a release clause for just 25 million, which is nothing in Europe, right?
Yep.
25 million for a player of that caliber, you pay that 100 times out of 100. But realistically, the only teams that can really pay that here are Atlanta, Charlotte, and Seattle because they have the infrastructure of selling out those stadiums and making that money back because of the huge amount of seats that they have for their stadium, so they make that money back. It won't make sense for a team like the Dynamo because even if we do sell out all the games and we sell a whole bunch of kits, it's going to take them a while to get that money back because 25 million is 25 million, regardless if whatever, But man, it's hard because I can't really think about who's free, but I can tell you who I would want during this summer since they're free.
Sure, let's use just this summer. Sure.
Give me Bobby Firmino, man.
Hell yeah, I'm 100% on board for that.
Give me Bobby Firmino.
In Ben's system,
him and that beautiful smile of his. Look, I'm not a Liverpool fan. I'm not at all. You can walk alone all you want. I don't give a shit. but you put Bobby Firmino in orange to, dude, I think we're making some noises.
I mean, look, all I'm saying is you do that. I mean, Bossy's stock just rose 1,000-fold overnight.
We're making some noise this season.
I can't even I can't even argue. I think that's a great call. I was thinking of a player that may be a little more realistic at this point, but a player who's not free.
Well, look. I say realistically because you got to think about it, Sean.
He's free right now.
He's free.
Yeah.
So and I think Bobby, to be honest, because Bobby is the second choice striker for Liverpool behind Darwin Nunez, right?
Yep, he is now. Yeah.
Guys. If I remember correctly, because I remember looking this up a while back. I think he makes anywhere between 5.5 million euros, which is probably like around 6 something. And dude, you can pay, Dynamo can pay that. No transfer fee, and you pay, and his annual salary is 6 million. Dude, I don't, realistically speaking, because of his age and a lot of players want to bring him in because of experience and maybe make him a backup to whatever striker they have right now. Yeah, I would really realistically think that he would look at that. Look, again, what I'm saying, you're gonna get paid like you're a European star here. You're gonna be able to live that baller lifestyle without nobody bugging you because they don't know really who you are because they're not so in tune to soccer like they are across the pond. And then him being Brazilian, Brazil's on this side of the world as well, so he can go home whenever he wants to, not worry about stuff. Those vacation days, you don't have to worry about those vacation days being so short because you gotta fly, half a day to get over there and then half a day to get back and all this other stuff. It's all good, So yeah, that would be my first choice, Bobby Firmino. If I had to go second, I love Angel Di Maria. Angel Di Maria, even though I know he's 35, about to turn 36, man, but he just, man, he's a guy. He's it, man. He's a guy.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even challenge it. Like that's a pretty solid call out.
Everybody's bringing up Raul Jimenez. What are your thoughts on Raul Jimenez before I give you mine? But what are
I
your
think
thoughts?
he would also fit the system. I think he can be the right type of striker that Ben prefers. But I have concerns about injuries and things like that.
Have huge concerns.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're going to have that with any player, I think, to some extent, though.
But I think more with him than it's just he hasn't been the same since David Luiz broke his head. I mean, real talk. I mean, dude, before that, Raul and Wolves, he was about to be. I'm not saying that he's not a legend at Wolves because I think he is because of what he's been able to bring to that club and and all the great moments he gave for that club. But if that incident hadn't happened, man, I think Raul would have been an all-time great for Wolves. He probably would have gone on to sign to a bigger English club if it hadn't been for that injury. But dude, it's just and look, the injury was bad. The dude literally cracked his skull.
Yep.
And that's trauma in itself because dude, imagine playing in a game where your position requires you to use your head, which you cracked, to score goals. I can see where you could be scared to use it, and but you can't be scared playing in sports. That's always been my mentality. Once you start playing scared, you can't play, man. Unfortunately, I know the money's good and the money's there, but man, you're just gonna be a shell of yourself because you have that lingering thought in the back of your head of what if I crack my skull again?
Yep. It's always gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, man. It's just that's my only look. I love Raul. Look, I'm an America fan. You see the scarf up there. Obviously, he won a championship when he was at Club America. He didn't do shit in Atletico Madrid. When he was with Benfica, he did okay, and then obviously he made a name for himself when it came to Wolves. But I would have loved to have him, But now it's just, look, if he came over on a TAM deal, a high TAM player, I'd give him a shot. But I'm not paying him DP money. I'm sorry. I think that DP money, you can go and use it for a Bobby Firmino. Shit, I go use it for what's homeboy's name that scored for Spain this afternoon? Joselu who just got regulated from La Liga. But I think he's going to Madrid. But but regardless, like there's players out there. You gotta look at these clubs that just got regulated. Look at Leeds United. They got a bunch of players who got relegated. Espanyol from La Liga, bunch of players who got relegated. Just go down the league. Players are available, and MLS right now has an opportunity to really take advantage and grab a handful of those names if they really want to.
There's so many players. I'm actually looking at a list of players whose contracts are going to expire at the end of 2023.
Let me ask you this, man. Let's get back to Dynamo. I know we're here living on fantasy island.
Hey, we could live in fantasy for a few minutes. We got a good team right now. Okay,
that's the great thing about the transfer windows, man. Anything's a possibility if the money is there for that to be happen. And there's opportunities for us to do. Look, Sebastian Ferreira, like I said, look, shout out to Sebas, man. I appreciate everything he did last season for us and all that stuff. With the lackluster amount of playmakers around him, he still came and worked and still was able to produce double-digit goals. I think that's something that people shouldn't forget about him because I know a lot of people now are just like, well, okay, bye, Sebas, or whatever. But nah, man, I can't be disrespectful to a player who actually wears our kit, represents the crest and goes out there and does his job. It's just an unfortunate thing where we got a new coach. He's not working out. And unfortunately, the players ahead of him now are actually doing the job that is needed. So he's what do they call it? Surplus to requirement.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you sell him, make a nice little profit off him, cool. Use that money, flip it, bring somebody in, maybe not even a striker because we might not need a striker now. We might need just I don't know, a strong winger. You know, who knows? But that's the beauty of the position that we're in now. You know, that we have quality in each spot for the most part. You know, I think except left back, but I don't know if I want to spend DP money on a left back. But you know, it's one of those things where, and this is Jordi Alba, but yeah, but it's one of those things where like man, you know, we're rolling high right now. You know, it's a good time to be a Dynamo fan. You know, let's talk about the U.S. Open Cup tournament. You know, beforehand, because I know obviously we're not going to be in the semis until August 27th, if I'm not mistaken, 23rd, and we're hosting, guys. So look, again, another opportunity to bring friends, families to stadium. I mean, you know, semifinal game, 2 games away from lifting the trophy. What more can you ask for? Your thoughts on the Chicago game against the Fire? Man, I know it's a while back. I know, but you know, it was a little tenser in a little bit because you know Chicago had like a little bit of fire in them, but then you know once I don't put that foot down on their throat, that was it.
I mean, yeah, it you know came out and played like we wanted it. And I think that ultimately is the difference, you know, like played like we deserved it, played like we wanted it. And, you know, again, I kind of come back to this from earlier, but that's kind of what I'm seeing from this team right now is it's a team with desire, you know, a team with drive and determination, you know, that they want something, you know, they want it, whatever it is, they want it. And they're going out and getting it. They're doing what it takes to get it. And, you know, it's wonderful to be into the semis for sure.
Sure. And
hosting the semi for this side of the bracket. But you know, there's still work to do. But you got it done. You did what you needed to do to get to the semi. You know, you've got this match at home. You win this one at home, you're in the final. And it could be against Cincy in Cincy or against Miami in Miami. But either way, you go out and win this one. And you know what? You booked your spot, and you did it. You know, the first year of your new coach. You know, and that is incredible work.
Yeah, and that propels you. I mean, that gives you a lot of brownie points. You know, I've always been a component of where I've always wanted the Dynamo to really try in the U.S. Open Cup. You know, because it's a tournament where. Yeah, the prize money might not be great, but the qualification to the Champions League is huge. You know, it's an opportunity to expand your brand globally, internationally, especially in this region. It's an opportunity to really showcase your team to other leagues around the world and around this region as well. Because I mean, look, that could be the difference. If a player that wants to come to MLS hasn't heard of you, why would they sign with you?
Yeah,
unless the money's just that good. But I mean, but at the end of the day, like we have to start separating ourselves from the LAFCs and the Galaxies and the New York teams in Seattle and Miami's, right? Because yeah, those are going to be the clubs that everybody wants to go to because of where they're located, right? And because a lot of them have good history as well. But you know, we got to start showcasing ourselves as a city, as a team, as a brand, somewhere to be desired to go to. You know, signing Hector was a huge achievement by this ownership group. You know, it was a major step into going that way. I think it's going to catapult us to different sections that I think that we want to see. You know, and then on top of that, if we're able to lift this U.S. Open Cup trophy, amazing. And on top of that, if we're able to make the playoffs, even more amazing. You know,
absolutely.
So like even if we make even if we drag into the playoffs, I want to be that team that nobody wants to face. You know,
especially at home. Especially at home.
Oh, especially. I want to be that team where they're like, shit, I was hoping that they wouldn't make it to the playoffs, you know? Now I got to face them. I know that's going to be a tough out. Like I said, look, This is their first season. I'm not expecting them to go win MLS Cup. I'm not expecting them to go into the playoffs and make a deep run. Shit, I wasn't even expecting this U.S. Open Cup run we're on right now, but it's here now, so might as well take a full advantage of it and just go win the whole damn thing now that you made it this far. But whatever happens, but I think like I said, the franchise is going in the right direction, and I'm happy for it, and I'm here for it. Look, little Diesel, he's happy. He's happy.
He looks very, very plus. Very plus.
Very high. He's very high right now.
Yeah, he's high, huh? Oh, I didn't know we were dipping into the CBD beers.
Look at those deals. Look at those eyes.
Yeah, I think to G's point, right? It's the difference we're seeing this season compared to last season is monumental. I think for us as fans, almost more so than for the players, because we've been waiting far longer than those players who suffered through last season did and have. And to G's point, this process, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You can't go into this and only aim for one season of wonderful performance. You got to go in and aim for a dynasty. Effectively, you got to be and become that team, like you said, but that team that is consistently that team, that other teams, when it comes to playoff time, they're looking at that schedule and they're going, I don't want them anywhere near where I am. Teams that will literally lose a match at the end of the season because they don't want to face you on their schedule on their playoffs. So I look at it and I just say, I'm thankful. I'm grateful because, man, I have been waiting for this forever. But I'm also realistic, and I'm willing to say that even when if and when, which is the when it seems very likely, there is the falter, there is the misstep, there's the mistake that happens that ends the season, whatever it may be. No matter what happens at this point in the season, to be where we are, I definitely can say that, and I said at the top of the show, they have far exceeded my expectations of what this season would bring. And as long as they're in the playoff hunt, and as long as they are not completely collapsing at the end of the season, and I say completely collapsing because that is going to suck if that happens. But as long as they're not in that mode, then, I really, I have no reason to be upset about this season. Like, even at this stage, I have zero reason to be upset about this stage of the game, this middle part of the season. Like, just go out there, keep playing the way you're playing, and fans are gonna take notice. Like, I've had people mention to me, oh man, I heard the Dynamo won, and I'm like, how do you even know who the Dynamo are? Like, you were not even a soccer fan until a week ago. What the hell? Like, I know, because you never told me you were a soccer fan. And so it's like people are talking, people are noticing, and any time back-to-back games you can take down in the fashion that you did, the MLS Cup champs, then it speaks volumes about what your team is about. And maybe some of that is the Dynamo went out and they played with a chip on their shoulder. But you know what? If that's what it's going to take, then Ben better damn well have a chip on their shoulder for the rest of the season. Because, that they showed. Now here's the thing. If I'm Ben, I have to understand, if I'm Ben, I have set that expectation level now for the fans. Like, the fans are going, you can beat LAFC. Your ass can beat anybody in this league. Go out there and play your damn game because you're good enough. To me, it looks like the players have bought into that mentality. We're good enough to beat anybody, any day, anybody.
Yeah, for sure. And I truly have to agree with that. It's the talent is there, Is it compatible to like the top echelon of MLS teams? No, but we do have the talent where we can make noise. Obviously, with the showcasing here against LAFC at home, the thrashing we gave them, talent can only take you so long, but determination, the desire, and the will to win can take you over the hump. And having that determination for you, to outwork your opponent, to make those 50-50 balls, 70-30 balls in your favor. All those small little things might sound cliche, but it's the truth, man. It's what happens. It's what separates middle of the pack teams into the top echelon. It's what separates playoff teams in championship caliber teams. It's what separates non-playoff teams and playoff teams. That little extra and that's what the Dynamo are showcasing to us right now. And I'm excited to see it. Like I said, this season I've never seen the Dynamo get so many penalty calls. I'm excited, dude. I'm like, yo, we getting penalties? We getting penalties? We're getting penalty calls? Like, that's crazy. That's amazing. It's amazing to me. And I think this year we've had more penalties than we've had the last 3 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Look, it's the Hector Herrera effect, bro.
Yeah, and it's crazy,
And here's why. Here's why. Legitimately, here's why. Because you bring in a player the caliber of Hector Herrera, and it is no longer a matter of the league being able to ignore. If Hector Herrera is not happy because the refs aren't calling things are calling things in a certain direction, that's going to speak volumes. That's no longer a situation that, oh, well, it's just Albert the Least. Like, yes, he was a cool player and he was a star in the league, but he didn't command that level of respect and that level of appreciation for what he had done. Hector Herrera comes in. Yeah, you got that level of respect coming in. You have already earned that respect. And that's why, as captain, it is huge that he is truly leading the team the way that he is. He comes out, he does his job, he's vocal when he needs to be with the refs and with other players. Look at that halftime huddle, man. That halftime huddle last night, that got me fucking excited, bro. I have not seen that in so long, because that was a man that said, between him and Shevchenko, that said, look, we need to come together as a team on the road, as a team, and we need to band together. We need to not let all this other periphery crap, all this noise get to us. We need to be focused on the match and focused on what we're supposed to be doing. And man, you saw it. They came out of the second half and it wasn't like no drop. It just kept going straight. And I was like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. That's the identity. That's the leadership that I've been talking about for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. That was it. It was great. I love seeing that.
Reiterating to the squad that, hey, it doesn't matter if we're at home or we're on the road. We know what we're capable of and we know what we can do. If it has to be, if it's us and 19,000 at Shell Stadium, then great. But if it's us 11 against the whole stadium that we're at the moment, then so be it. We're still gonna go out there and do what we do. And to your point, that's what they did this past game. Like, that was the first road game in a long time where I've seen the Dynamo play really well. To the point where I'm like, wow. I mean, obviously, the first half of the Vancouver game was really nice. But
it was a complete game performance, and it was a complete game performance that if you didn't know better and you didn't know where they were playing, you would have thought they were playing in Houston.
Yeah, if I didn't know the teams, I'd be like, yo, this is an even matchup, right? And without knowing that the team in orange was what bottom feeder last year, and the team in black was the champions. But with that being said, I mean, it's a whole 360. This is the change that 180.
We don't want a 360. 360 puts us back where we were. We don't want that.
It's been a whole 180. Excuse my mathematics.
No, you're good. You're good.
Huge difference. It's the change that we've been wanting. And let's go out there and support guys. Let's go out there. Make sure that this team, this franchise, this club understands the appreciation that we have for them, because, I mean, we spent countless amount of money on kits, on seats, food,
travel, supporters groups, costs, beer.
To be on here, for y'all to be on here with us in Generation Orange talking shit about them, like, yo, here we go again, another season, blah, 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 this and that. Now we finally got a season where we got a little bit of ray of sunshine. Let's go out there and tan. Guys. CCL hangovers, I love to see the excuse. Look, man, regardless of the fact, whatever it was, I mean, look, I'm not naive either. It might be a little bit of that too, because obviously that it was such a huge thing for them to be there. They were there 2 years ago against Tigres in the Orlando bubble, and they lost that final as well. So it was kind of one of those things to kind of pay back, but they fell short. Yeah, but at the end of the day, if you're that team, you overcome that and you still go play your game and you're able to go defeat a team who was a bottom feeder the year prior, and they didn't. So look, regardless of if it was the full strength LAFC team, which it was on Saturday here in Houston, or if it was a depleted LAFC team because you have a bunch of internationals yesterday's game, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a win's a win, and it's helped us. We're in sixth place in the Western Conference Finals at the moment, and it's all good, baby. It's all good. They're the ones that rescheduled the game because they had the CCL coming in. So,
brought it on to themselves, as they say.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got about 15 minutes left in the show. Sean, is there anything else that you want to bring up or anything else that you want to talk about? I mean, anything else that we missed, guys, on the chat? If you want to bring up anything else on there, I mean, it's I know we've been away for a little bit, so it's kind of trying to get back in the groove of things. And I know it's kind of tough when we do these shows, like, not weekly, but every other week, because of work and other commitments and, things like that. But, we're always willing to talk, willing to conversate about whatever you want to conversate about, whatever you want to throw out there, man. I mean, let's have a conversation about anything like that.
We already talked about that, Doggo. The predictions on the next game, that we do need to do that.
That's San Jose, right? Yeah.
San Jose.
We're off this weekend. So, shout out to all the fathers on here, man, or, obviously those who have a father, happy Father's Day to you and to your father, all that stuff, beforehand. But San Jose, that's a home game, 7-1-3 night, if I'm not mistaken.
It is. It's a 7-1-3 night. It's a Wednesday night here in Houston.
And San Jose is another one of those teams that's doing really well, man, and we're right there behind them. I think we're a point off from them. I think we have 24 and they have 25 points, if I'm not mistaken, or 26 maybe.
Yep.
So obviously, if we win this game at home, we jump above them. And I think, and we have a game in hand on them as well. I think we have a game in hand, and we're 1 point or 2 points behind Frisco, San Jose, and I'm missing one more squad, but yeah. But if we win this game, we'd be up there, top 3, top 4.
Let me ask this, because I'm gonna actually we're gonna predict San Jose and we're gonna predict the Austin match, because the Austin match is that Saturday as well. So you got San Jose on Wednesday here in Houston, and then you got Austin and Aston on Saturday at 7:30. So
I'll be there.
I assumed you'd be there. I had no doubt about that, especially since it's a weekend game. But
for sure.
What I was going to ask is, and this question is as much for chat as well. If you knew going in that in order to win in Austin, you had to sacrifice and lose at home against San Jose, are you taking it? That's the only way you're getting the win in Austin.
I mean, look, yeah, obviously, the rivalry games are very important, and, the Clásicos are never meant to be played. They're meant to be won. So obviously from that standpoint, yeah, you would like, oh, yeah, I would take the Austin win at home, at their place, especially because that would be a whole sweep for the season, and it would be 3 wins. And so, so it would be a true sweep of Austin, which would be a huge embarrassment for those guys who finished second place in the Western Conference. So with a lot of that being put into it, yeah, I think I would take the Austin win over the San Jose win at home. But shit, man, it's, at this point, shit, why not take both?
No, I know. I'm saying, but I'm saying if that was the choice, you could only win one. If it was a guarantee that you could only win one match,
I got you.
And and I should clarify, I don't mean that you had to lose against San Jose. I mean that you could draw San Jose on the road.
Yeah, but it's, dude, to be able to say, because obviously Austin is that little brother team because they came in so late, expansion team 2 years ago, and obviously their fan base is kind of they're not really, I don't know, they're not really likable, but it's all
you can call it what it is. They're plastic as hell.
Yeah, plastic cup boys out there, but it is what it is. We're foam cup over here, double foam cup, if you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, man, it's one of those things where, to as much as they stuck their chests out last year when they were on that run to go to second place in Western Conference, man, to deflate them so bad and to have 3 wins over them this season and at home at their house too, be amazing. And especially because you're gonna bury those guys even further down the Western Conference standings. Look, the one thing that we're missing out here is that they play Frisco on Wednesday while we're playing San Jose.
Yep.
So those guys can actually help us. I mean, if they tie or if they even beat Frisco, I mean, it might help us.
Can we just have an earthquake for that one? Just literally an earthquake, and then both teams can be just swallowed, and then we're good.
Right. let it be that. But yeah, man. I mean, obviously the perfect scenario would be Frisco Austin tie on Wednesday, and Dynamo beat San Jose, and then we roll into Austin and we roll those guys up and just get rid of them on Saturday at their own house.
And we do have a week off between Saturday, June 24th, which is against Austin, and Saturday, July 1st against Seattle in Seattle. So there's at least a week break in there.
Yeah, I think that's the international break. I think that's the open of the Gold Cup. So I think that's a little bit of MLS
that does break. Sound correct. Yep. So yeah, there is one thing that I wanted to bring up regarding the San Jose match and the Austin match, between the two of those matches. So I asked that question. Also, there's a there's this little thing. The Wednesday match against San Jose, because it's a Wednesday match and there's not a lot of Wednesday matches going on, that is a free match available on Apple TV for streaming, which means there will be people watching the Dynamo for probably the first time this season on Apple TV.
All those Messi subscribers.
All those new Messi subscribers going to be tuning in, going, oh, I see a team in orange against a team in blue at 7:30 p.m. Let's go.
And ain't no soccer going on right now as far as club soccer.
Nope. And so the reason I bring that up, though, is, historically, the Dynamo, when they've been on national TV broadcasts, they've not done the best. It's usually not been great, especially the last 5-6 seasons. So it would be kind of nice if I had to sacrifice this particular Austin match, and as long as we still win Copa Tejas. But it would be kind of nice to come back home and win strong at home in front of these new Messi fans that are tuning in because they're like, oh, this is cool. Where has this been all my life? And show out. This is an opportunity for the Dynamo to potentially earn some new followers and supporters, and especially because it's a home match. So. Yeah, I think to some extent, sure. I might change my opinion on that one just because of that fact. That fact. But yeah, it's an interesting couple of matches in a row. But let's actually get your true predictions. We'll start with San Jose at home.
I think San Jose. Look, man, when they played San Jose, I think that was the worst game I've seen. To be honest. Both teams look so horrible, and it's funny because that was the third game of the season for third or fourth game of the season for both teams, and look at them now.
Yeah,
they're right thick in the middle of everything, man. It's crazy how things can change and a light switch can be turned on. So I'm not expecting that sorry level of quality game again this time around. But what I am expecting is a high scoring game from both sides, because I think both sides are going to come in with determination, especially San Jose, because they want to showcase that they're not a fluke either, and they have an opportunity as well to secure a top 3 spot if they win against us. So I think it's going to be a high end level game. Dare I say, kind of a playoff atmosphere type of game.
I could see it.
But with that being said, it's just, dude, the Dynamo have been dominant at home, and it's not even a joke. They've been exceptional. Whatever adjective that you can put in front of them that just overhypes, they've been there at home.
Yep.
So if I would just say, hey, yo, Dynamo are gonna win 5-1, it's a believable outcome the way they've been playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm not gonna go 5-1. I'm gonna go 4-2 Dynamo.
Okay, that's a strong showing.
Yeah.
I got to go with what works. And since this is working, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going 4-0 San Jose. Gotta stick with what works, man. Look, I'm willing to take the heat so the Dynamo can win. Okay, look. I'm just saying. I'm gonna take the heat so the Dynamo can win. That is true sacrifice on my part.
So Sean has officially given San Jose the kiss of death.
Sanford's like, thank you, Sean. You're welcome. I'm here for you. Look, I'm here for my club no matter what. All right.
Hey,
all right.
Yo, if that's what's working, if that's what's working, I haven't kept up on it. So I mean, but if that's what's working, then you keep on predicting the way, Sean. You keep on predicting the way.
Yeah. All right. So we'll do bold predictions here in a second, real quick. But let's go to Austin. Austin in Austin. Who you got? Who you got? That's a match after roughly 2.5 days of rest.
Yeah, but the same thing for Austin. I mean, they're going to come down from Frisco. I think they play in Frisco and then they come to Austin. So I mean, they're going to be the same as us. So, but I mean, Joe. I mean, look, I don't know what's happened to that team. To be honest, it's crazy because obviously you see the run that they went on last year.
Fans are calling for Dreesi's head. Look, bro, if you're going to be treated like that in Austin, look, we got a place for you here in Houston. We will love you as one of our own, brother.
Sure, man. And Dreesy was amazing last year. Amazing.
Put him on the wing, bro. Put him on the wing. Oh, hell yeah.
I'm going 2-1 Dynamo.
All right.
I'm confident, man, dude. 2-1 Dynamo.
I think this one will be closer. I think this is probably more like what I really want to say versus what I'm going to say are two totally different things. I think this is going to be a lot closer, actually, because I think Austin have something to prove in this match. And I think they're going to be in front of their home fans. I think there will be a lot of our fans that are going to be there and be loud and be proud. I think it's going to be a 1-0 game as well. I'm going to flip it. It's the Broccolis. Unfortunately, they're going to win this match 1-0. But I do think it's going to be a close match. In Austin, and that's okay because I still think it'll be a good showing. I think we're going to have plenty of chances. I just don't think we're going to find the net because let's be honest, Stuver is actually a pretty damn good goalkeeper when he wants to be. And they're a tough team to break down defensively. So yeah, that's my prediction. I think 1-0 Austin, and y'all know why I'm predicting 1-0 Austin. So before y'all jump on my crotch about this, back the fuck off, okay?
Yeah, look, if I'm going to give Austin the win, I'll give him the win against Frisco on Wednesday. And then hopefully, like I said, Dynamo will go in there and handle the business. But, yeah, man, it's crazy, because Austin does have players. They do have talent. But, I mean, something's not clicking. But hopefully it doesn't click at all. And, they don't figure it out and they end up in the cellar.
So let's talk bold predictions, my friend.
Let's do it.
San Jose, what's your bold prediction for that San Jose match?
Bold prediction for San Jose will be I think Shevchenko will score 2 goals, a brace of goals.
He looks like he wants a goal real bad.
Oh, for sure.
My man is out there trying to hit bicycle kick because he desperately wants a goal.
He's gonna have a brace.
I'm gonna call it that there's gonna be. I'm gonna call it that the refs are terrible. And somebody's gonna get a red card. Probably Ben. I think Ben's about to be sent to the bench. Sent to the locker room in this match.
OCG, he just sat out again. He sat out the LAFC game.
But that was yellow card accumulation because coaches get yellow cards now. That was a yellow card accumulation. This one's gonna be a straight up red card. He's gonna say something. He's going to say something to set off the ref, and it's going to be
you know what? I'm for it because his assistant coached the shit out of the team that Saturday.
Hell yeah, he did.
So, hey, I'm for it.
Yes, sir. All right, Austin, what's your bold prediction in Austin, and then we'll call it here.
Bold prediction for Austin, what did I say, 2-1 Dynamo? I think, you know what? I'm going to
You want to say it. I hear it. I hear it in your voice. You want to say it.
I don't know. No, I don't know what I want to say, Sean. I was gonna say 2 own goals by Austin.
Oh shit! I thought the way you were talking. I thought you were about to say a brace for Corey Bird, and I was about to be like, my man's a believer. My man is a convert.
Look, Corey Bird on the wing. I'm a believer.
That's what I'm saying. No. This is Corey Bird on the wing. This is not. This is not number 9 Corey Bird. Hell no.
If he's on the wing, yeah, Corey Bird can score a brace easily. I easy. But if he's on that 9 spot, I'm not gonna be the nicest person for that.
Yeah, real quick, I'm gonna say that the one goal comes off a Steve Clark blunder. An unfortunate Steve Clark blunder.
I mean, if it was fortunate, then Steve Clark wouldn't be the goalkeeper.
Well, that's true. That's true. But like one where it's like there's no doubt that he should have it, and it goes in anyways. Like one of those. Yeah.
It's that Robert Green England versus USA World Cup goal that Clinton.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That level. Not quite that level, but maybe Joe Willis trying to throw the ball out of the goal and accidentally throwing it into his own goal. Maybe that bad. No, I don't think it'll be that bad either. I think it'll be, honestly, I think what it's going to be, the bold prediction wise, I think he's going to do one of those trying to dribble it, to get around a guy, where he waits for the guy to get close enough to him and he tries to do his little juke move to throw him off and then he gets to clear the ball far. I think he's going to do that, but I think he's going to slip or something because, fuck the Austin turf. When he slips, it's going to...
He's going to juke himself.
He's going to juke himself right into a goal. All right, guys. Hey, it's that time. It's that time. We are done.
For sure, guys. Thank you again. Like I said, I know we've been off the air for a little bit, but we appreciate all the support and all the time that you give us, and hopefully we're back next Thursday. I'm not sure, but if we are, we'll let you know, obviously, for sure. But yeah, as you remember, all the time, keep holding it down. H-Town.